feel like the guardian has not done a good job of protecting my mom.
This is not something that is like a conspiracy theory.
According to a new report, Wendy Williams does not have frontotemporal dementia.
After years of silence, isolation, and what many are calling outright abuse, Wendy Williams is finally getting closer to freedom. And the story behind what happened to her, it's darker than anyone could have imagined. Brand new neurological evaluations have just surfaced, and they're exposing something absolutely chilling. According to these tests conducted by one of New York's leading neurologists, Wendy Williams does not have the mental conditions that were used to strip away her freedom. Let that sink in for a second. The woman who lost her show, her money, her family, and her entire life was allegedly misdiagnosed on purpose. And here's the kicker: the very people responsible for managing her guardianship are the same ones being accused of orchestrating this false diagnosis. Wendy has been screaming from the rooftops for months now, telling anyone who would listen that she wasn't sick, but no one believed her. They called her unstable. They said she was too far gone. They silenced her. But you know who D.I.O.D. tried to warn us? Nicki Minaj. Yeah, you heard that right. Nicki came out publicly not too long ago and hinted that something sinister was happening to Wendy. She didn't just stop there though. Nicki flat out said she could be next, that the industry might come for her too, slap her with a fake diagnosis, and lock her away in a conservatorship just like they did to Wendy. And what did people do? They laughed. They dismissed her. They called her crazy. But now it's looking like Nicki might have been telling the truth all along. So let's break down exactly what happened to Wendy Williams, because this goes way deeper than most people realize. According to the recent TMZ report, Wendy underwent fresh neurological testing, and the results are damning. The top-tier neurologist who examined her concluded that she does not have the condition that was used as justification for putting her under guardianship in the first place. But by the time anyone bothered to listen, the damage was already done. Wendy had been shuffled through multiple psychiatric facilities. She'd been pumped full of medication. Her talk show, the platform she built from the ground up, was canceled. And perhaps most heartbreaking of all, she was completely cut off from her family. Now, Wendy is saying this wasn't some unfortunate mistake. She's claiming this was intentional, calculated. Someone wanted her locked away, and they made sure it happened. So who benefits from Wendy being declared mentally incompetent? Well, according to Wendy herself, Wells Fargo played a major role in getting her placed under guardianship. Here's how it allegedly went down. Wells Fargo claimed that Wendy was mentally unfit to manage her own finances. They argued she was at serious risk of being exploited and taken advantage of. Their solution: strip her of control and hand it over to a court-appointed guardian. Shortly after, Wendy was diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia and aphasia, two devastating conditions that would certainly justify guardianship. But now we know those diagnoses might have been bogus from the start. It's hard not to ask the obvious question here. Who really benefits when someone with millions of dollars suddenly can't access their own bank accounts? Enter Sabrina Morrissey, Wendy's court-appointed guardian. At first, reports made it seem like things were getting better once Sabrina took over. The narrative was that Wendy was finally in good hands, finally getting the care she needed. But then something strange happened. Right after the guardianship was established, Wendy's condition allegedly got worse. Suddenly, she had all these severe diagnoses that no one had mentioned before. Wendy's son, Kevin Jr., started speaking out about the inconsistencies. He pointed out something that should have raised red flags immediately.
I feel like the guardian has not done a good job of protecting my mom.
If doctors were claiming Wendy had alcohol-induced dementia, why was she still being given unrestricted access to alcohol? That doesn't add up. If someone's brain is being destroyed by drinking, wouldn't the first step be to cut off the supply? And why was her entire family blocked from seeing her? No calls, no visits, nothing. Kevin Jr. wasn't buying it, and neither are a lot of other people. Here's the thing that really makes you question everything. Wendy has had multiple independent medical evaluations over the past few years, and every single one of them showed that she was not suffering from the illnesses her guardians claimed she had. But those results? Ignored, buried, dismissed as unreliable. Even more telling, patients with frontotemporal dementia typically experience rapid cognitive decline. But Wendy, once she got sober, her neurological resilience actually improved. That's not how FTD works at all. Now, according to TMZ, Wendy's legal team is preparing to file documents demanding that her guardianship be terminated immediately. Her attorney, Joe Tacopina, has made it clear if the request is denied, he's taking this to a jury trial. He's going to fight to get Wendy her freedom back, no matter what it takes.
Wendy Williams, she got fired from Hot 97 because she had a picture of Puffy. So if you don't mind, give me the story from your point of view, and what was in the picture?
We were in Cancun. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. Some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like it was gay, something like that. She was gonna put it out. Wendy had shown people that email. Puff told Hot 97 if they didn't get rid of her before he got back in New York, that they was not gonna get any music from any of his friends, any of the record labels executives that was cool with him. Everybody was gonna boycott their station. We was out in LA for about 3 days before we landed back in New York. Wendy Williams was in the radio station in Philly. He was fired.
We come from a very homosexual era of hip hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle. There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle now. So
when people first started speculating about who might want Wendy silenced, one name kept coming up over and over: Diddy. And honestly, it makes sense. Wendy and Diddy have a serious history. For years, Wendy used her platform to expose things about Diddy that he definitely didn't want the world to know. She publicly claimed he was involved with a man. She questioned the official story around the infamous nightclub shooting that landed Shine in prison. She called out his toxic relationship with Cassie years before it became public knowledge.
Puffy wants Cassie back. Oh, it's been all over social media. Puffy posted a picture of Michael Jackson's song, Lady in My Life, and wrote, if anyone sees Cassie this weekend, please tell her to listen to this song 100 times. I suggest don't use social media though to reach out. I think this is a grand overture from Puffy. I don't believe he really wants her back. I believe he probably treated her at some particular point like a possession, like a possession. And if you really care, then you'd reach out privately, not publicly.
Y'all had bad blood for a while.
Real bad.
Real bad blood.
The worst blood.
The worst blood. You almost wanted to run you out of New York at one point, right? Well, not run, like push you out of New York at one point. He had you ran out. You give him full credit for that? Okay, cool. He had you ran out of New York.
And perhaps most disturbing of all, there was that incident where Diddy allegedly threatened Wendy's teenage son during an interview. So yeah, Diddy had a motive. Wendy had been a thorn in his side for decades. A lot of people believed he finally found a way to shut her up for good.
As the mother of a now 16-year-old.
Who I met backstage,
He did?
He's a great young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You represent a lot.
But here's where it gets even messier. Nicki Minaj dropped a bombshell when she publicly accused Roc Nation and Jay-Z of being involved in Wendy's downfall. According to Nicki, Roc Nation has a pattern of using people like media personality Charlemagne the God to manipulate narratives and destroy reputations. And she believes Wendy was one of their targets. Tasha K backed up Nicki's claims and added even more fuel to the fire. According to Tasha, Roc Nation allegedly wants Nicki placed under a guardianship too. The only thing stopping them? Nicki's marriage to Kenneth Petty. Here's why that matters. If Nicki were declared mentally incompetent, Kenneth would automatically gain control of her finances as her husband. That makes it a lot harder for outside parties to swoop in and take over. Look at the pattern. Britney Spears wasn't married when she was placed under conservatorship. Wendy Williams wasn't married. It's easier to control someone when there's no spouse standing in the way. This isn't just about Wendy, or Nicki, or even Britney. People are starting to connect the dots and see a disturbing pattern in the entertainment industry.
This is not something that is like a conspiracy theory. This actually happens. But if they're able to separate Nicki and Kenny, that makes Nicki vulnerable because your husband is your power of attorney. Your husband is your signator on all of your accounts in the event anything goes wrong. Michael wasn't married. Britney Spears was married, but of course they control all of that. And so the mere fact that all these narratives are out about Kenny stealing this to buy chains and buy that, that's not what it is. It's like, they got doctors that are giving out these diagnoses saying that she's schizophrenic and bipolar and all of this stuff. And then Kenny's now here You know, she trusts Kenny. Of course, they've known each other since they were kids. Their families know each other. And so Kenny is just in the way. And so what do? You create narratives to try to separate, because if you separate, then you can divide and conquer. And so that's what it's about. You know, she's going into her latter years, and, you know, there's a lot of money on the line and she's worth a lot, but Kenny is in the way. And so, yeah, I mean, look at what they're doing to Wendy Williams. Had Wendy would have still been with Kelvin, they wouldn't have been able to put her under a conservatorship because she has a husband. So, you know, and like I said, there was only one that was accused of stealing. We're going to leave it at that. Okay.
Celebrities who speak out, who refuse to play the game, who know too much, they get labeled as mentally unstable. Then they lose control of their money, their careers, their entire lives. Kanye West, Wendy Williams. Britney Spears literally fled to Mexico to escape her conservatorship. Michael Jackson spoke about this before he died. And now, Nicki Minaj is publicly saying she does not have schizophrenia, despite recent attempts to paint her as mentally ill. She knows what's happening. She's seen the playbook. Here's a theory that's been floating around. And honestly, it's hard to dismiss. What if Wendy was placed under guardianship specifically to prevent her from testifying against Diddy? Think about it. Wendy knows things. She's been exposing him for years. If Diddy's legal troubles escalated and Wendy was called as a witness, the things she could reveal would be devastating. But if she's locked away in a facility, declared mentally incompetent, heavily medicated, she can't testify. She's not a credible witness anymore. She's neutralized. And now that Diddy's trial is wrapping up, suddenly Wendy's new test results are being taken seriously. Suddenly people are listening. Suddenly she's getting closer to freedom. Coincidence? A lot of people aren't buying it. As whispers grow louder that Jay-Z might be next in line, after Diddy, that he might be facing his own legal battles, something interesting is happening. Nicki Minaj is suddenly being painted as unstable, erratic, paranoid. The timing feels a little too convenient, doesn't it? People are furious about what's been done to Wendy. Social media is exploding with demands for accountability. Her condo was sold without her consent. Her beloved pet was given away. Her personal belongings were thrown out like garbage. And through it all, she was trapped, voiceless, powerless. People are calling for the doctor who misdiagnosed her to be sued. They want Sabrina Morrissey investigated. They want Wells Fargo held accountable. And above all else, they want one thing: free Wendy. So here we are. Wendy Williams is finally on the verge of getting her freedom back. But the questions remain. What do you think about Wendy's situation? Do you believe she was intentionally silenced? And more importantly, do you think Nicki Minaj is right? Could she be next? Because if this can happen to Wendy Williams, a powerful, wealthy, famous woman with a platform, it can happen to anyone. The truth is coming out, and it's uglier than we ever imagined.